Welcome to Bayanat, the heartbeat of tech in MENA. We bring you raw stories and sharp insights from the founders, investors, and leaders building the region's startup ecosystem. Today, we're doing a deep dive into the story of Crossval. They're a startup using AI to automate the finance function. And we're digging into an article from Founders Hustle about them and their founder, Ajinkya Tampur.
Exactly. And our goal here really is to unpack this journey. We want to pull out the lessons, the insights that matter for you, whether you're building a company, investing in one, or just involved in the tech scene here.
Okay, so let's start where the story does with the problem. Ajinkya, coming from VC and private equity, he saw this massive pain point.
Right, during due diligence.
Yeah, you've got all this critical financial info metrics, data points, but it's everywhere. Scattered across Excel files, PDFs, emails, just messy.
And no standard way to pull it together, organize it, let alone analyze it properly.
He actually said it kept him up at night.
Yeah.
It wasn't just annoying, it was a serious roadblock.
Which is often where the best startup ideas come from, isn't it? Not some abstract theory, but a real lived frustration. He felt the pain directly in his work.
So that occurring headache, that lack of structure in financial data during critical moments like D and DD, that became the seed for Crossval.
Mm-hmm. And the article mentions mentors encouraged him too, saw the potential in solving that specific problem and pushed him to, take the entrepreneurial leap.
Okay, so idea born from pain. But Ajinkya wasn't a tech guy himself. The article says he first tried building prototypes using no-code tools, like Bubble.
Which is pretty common, right? A good way to get started, validate the concept, maybe.
Definitely. But he hit a ceiling pretty fast. He realized that the solution he envisioned needed, serious technical depth, something no-code just couldn't deliver.
And that's such a key moment, recognizing the limits and knowing you need to bring in specialized expertise. So finding a head of engineering became critical.
How do you find them?
Through LinkedIn, actually. A job posting led him to Karan Haveri. And the connection wasn't just about technical skills, though Karan clearly had those. It was about a shared vision, seeing eye to eye on the problem they wanted to solve. Karan was the technical piece Ajinkya needed.
Makes sense. And as the team grew, up to 7 people according to the source, Ajinkya's hiring approach is pretty interesting.
How so?
He's apparently quite upfront that hiring is always a bit of a bet. He looks beyond just the CV, the technical skills. He's really trying to find people with a growth mindset.
People who are adaptable, want to learn.
Exactly. And also aligned on values and resilience. The stuff you really need in the startup roller coaster.
So how does he gauge that?
It sounds quite down to earth, actually. Asking about their day-to-day life, what they do creatively, how they approach solving problems. Less about jargon, more about understanding how they think, how they operate.
That's smart. Gets past the rehearsed answers, maybe. Tries to see the real person and their mindset.
Seems like it. So this team he built, what's the core offering of Crossval?
Okay, so fundamentally, it's about using AI to automate the finance function for businesses. They started as a B2B SaaS platform.
And the article mentions they got some good early results.
Yeah, scaling to $30,000 in MRR monthly recurring revenue. That's pretty solid early traction. Suggests they found a good product market fit initially.
30K MRR is definitely a milestone. And they're not stopping there, right? What's next?
They're building on that. The next big thing is an AI agent specifically for accounting.
Okay, tell me more. What does it do?
Imagine taking raw bank statements, just unstructured data, and feeding it to this AI. Within minutes, it's supposed to generate comprehensive financial reports, budgets, P&Ls, balance sheets, the works.
Wow, okay, that cuts out a lot of manual work.
A huge amount. Think about accountants or finance teams manually reconciling, categorizing, building reports. This automates that grunt work. Ajinkya calls it digital transformation for finance.
Directly tackling that initial pain point, but really scaling the solution. How did they even land their first customer, though? Getting that first yes is always tough.
Classic startup story, apparently. A cold call.
Really? Just picked up the phone.
Well, the call itself didn't close the deal directly, but it led to an introduction, and that introduction turned into their first paying client. Just good old-fashioned hustle.
Love it. And strategically, they went after startups first.
Yeah, the article highlights that startups are usually quicker to adopt new tech, less bureaucracy.
And faster sales cycles, I bet.
Exactly. They were closing deals with startups in about a week sometimes. Plus, getting that early user feedback from startups was crucial for refining the product.
Makes sense. But they've grown beyond just startups now.
Oh, yeah. The piece mentions some big names, Cafu, the DIFC, Dubai International Financial Center. That's serious validation.
Definitely. And how's the growth happening now? Still cold calls.
A lot of it now is word of mouth, according to the source, which is, the best kind of marketing, especially in this region where relationships matter so much.
That's huge. And they've got other credibility builders too, right?
Mm-hmm. They got recognition from Deloitte's Fast 50 program, which is a big deal, and they participated in the Mohammed bin Rashid Innovation Fund Accelerator, MBRAF.
MBRDF is significant. That often opens doors to government partnerships too, doesn't it?
Absolutely. A major advantage for a B2B playing in this space.
Okay, here's something I found really interesting in the source material. Their market focus versus where interest is coming from.
What's that?
Well, most clients are UAE, maybe 75%, and KSA around 15%. But get this, 75% of their organic website traffic comes from the US.
Wow, okay. So the pain point resonates globally, even if the current customer base is regional.
Exactly. Ajinkya's point seems right that struggle with messy financial data is pretty universal.
Yeah.
Huge untapped potential there in the US market, it seems.
But the source adds a layer to that about client behavior differences.
Ooh.
Yeah, it notes that based on early data, at least, clients in the UAE and KSA tend to have a higher lifetime value, LTV.
What is that?
The thinking is it's down to the emphasis on human relationships here. The sales process, onboarding, support, it's more high-touch, relationship-driven.
Compared to maybe a more self-service product-led approach preferred in some Western markets.
That seems to be the observation. It's a really important nuance for anyone operating across regions. Your product might be global, but your go-to-market might need local tuning.
That's a great point. So to power all this, the growth, the new AI agent, they raised funding.
Yep. A $250,000 pre-seed round closed at the end of 2023.
And who invested?
Some pretty prominent angel investors. The article mentions executives from Mubadala, Visa, IBM Middle East. That's strong backing for a pre-seed round. Very strong. Having angels with that kind of network and industry clout, especially in finance and enterprise tech, is invaluable. It's more than just the cash.
For sure. So the next steps are launching that AI agent and raising a seed round.
That's the plan, according to the article. They're gearing up for both.
Looking back at the journey so far, Ajinkya shared a key lesson, didn't he? Something about evolution.
Yeah, he stressed the need for relentless evolution, which, as he points out, is tough because founders naturally tend to, fall in love with what you've built.
Yeah, the classic founder's dilemma. You pour everything into creating something, and then you have to be willing to change it, maybe even tear it down based on feedback. It's hard.
Super hard. It requires that weird mix of intense passion for the problem, but also some detachment from the specific solution you first built.
So what's his advice?
Basically, stay open to the process, trust in the grind, and embrace the lessons each iteration brings. It's about adaptability, not getting stuck.
That really resonates. So maybe the provocative thought for you listening is this. How do you manage that tension, that pull between loving your creation and the market's demand for constant change, for relentless evolution?
Is learning to embrace that cycle of iteration, that trusting the grind, as Ajinkya puts it, maybe the core skill you need to navigate the founder's journey. Something to think about.
For more stories like this, subscribe to Bayanas newsletter and stay updated on the latest in MENA's tech and startup ecosystem.